Check 1, 3. Ready? On your marks. Set. Stand up. Stand up. On your marks. Set. Underway now for heat 1 of the Class 1 girls of 400 meters. Ranging up there we've got Ranisha Johnson of Excelsior, Siobhan Williams of San Diego in the mix as well. Natalie Heron of Port Antonio High has some catching up to do. Akilia McPherson of San Diego in lane 8 moving hard on the outside. Siobhan Williams of San Diego takes closer orders in the middle of the pack. As they get set to spin off the final part of the turn now. And this is the first heat of the Class 1 girls of 400 meters. Siobhan Williams of San Diego. Ranisha Johnson of Excelsior creeping through and finishing fast, very fast on the outside. Akalia McPherson of San Diego taking top honors. So Tiana Oliver of Very Technical taking the first heat of the Class 1 girls 400 meters. So what we have on the track now is in fact heat 1 of the class 3 girls 400 meters. A total of 5 heats will be contested. On your marks. Set. Sent on the way then for heat 1 of the class 3 girls 400 meter event. We've got Shamilia Anderson of St. Jago, Tawena Marston Knox, Julicia Bennett Hewiton, Jamelia Alves St. Jago, Ashanti Dunn of St. Jago, Mahalia Thomas Knox, Courtney Eccleston William Knibb, and Daniellia Speed St. Jago. Matheson of William Knibb on the outside, coming under pressure now from the St. Jago pair of Jamila Alves and Ashanti Dunn. Into the home stretch. Courtney Matheson of William Knibb holding on stoutly and finishing ahead of Ashanti Dunn of St. Jago. Heat 1 of 5, class 3 girls, 400 meters. On your marks. Set. Stand up. On your marks. Set. Sent about their business then. This is the second heat of the Class 3 girls 400 meters. We've got Anika Lowe of Edwin Allen, Shanae Galloway, San Diego, Tiandra Watson, Edwin Allen in there as well, Peter Gay Francis, Charlemont, Zori Swaby, Veer Technical, Renee Lewis, Edwin Allen, Devonique Peart, Clarendon College. This is the second heat of the girls Class 3 400 meters. Renee Lewis of Edwin Allen prompting the initiative on the outside. Tiandra Watson, her teammate, is drawing closer at this stage as they spring off the top bend now. Renee Allen of Edwin Allen. Tiandra Watson of Edwin Allen coming through now. 1, 2, 3 for Edwin Allen in Heat 2 of the Class 3 girls 400. Renee Lewis of Edwin Allen, they're taking Heat 1 in a minute 0.31 seconds. Second, Tiandra Watson, her teammate, 1 minute 0.44. And completing the Edwin Allen trifecta, Anika Lowe in 1 minute 01.56 seconds. We stand by now for Heat 3. On your marks. Set. Away they go, the first time of asking them. This is Heat 3 of the Class 3 girls 400 meters. Edwin Allen dominated the previous heat, and they are doing likewise in Heat 3. Excelsior may have something to say about it though. Closing the gap all this time. Edwin Allen, back-to-back victories in the heats of the Class 3 girls, 400 meters. .918 seconds of flash time. For the winner, Rihanna Gale of Edwin Allen High School. Holding on narrowly from Christina Clark of Excelsior. On your marks. Set. Penultimate heat for the Class 3 girls. With the 400 meters, event dominated so far by Edwin Allen. Rihanna Gale won the previous heat in 59.20. And the heat before that, Edwin Allen had a 1-2-3. Let's see how they will fare here in this contest. Asaniki Beckford of Charlemont is in here. Amelia Russell of Port Antonio High. Tiana Blair of Homo Tech running a scout race in the middle of the pack. Niquasha Bowen of Edwin Allen coming on from minor share. But Tiana Blair of Homo Technical gets there when it mattered most. Cashel Nemard of Merle Grove came in for the runner-up spot. 58.62 seconds, the flash time. One heat remaining for the Class 3 girls. And after that final heat of the Class 3 girls, 400 meters coming up. Shea Hudson will take you through the rest of the afternoon for the commentary. Tiana Blair of Homo Technical then in 58.62. Ahead of Deandra Blair, Veertech 1 minute 05.21. And the Asaniki Beckford of Charlemont 105.21. Deandra Blair final heat about to come up now for the Class 3 girls in the 100 meters. On your marks. Stand up. So just a slight technical issue to be sorted out before we get the final heat for the Class 3 girls on the way in the 400 meters. On your marks. Set. Final heat then for the Class 3 girls in the 400 meter event. 4 competitors here. Middle of the pack looks like Gabana Jones of Edwin Allen. Malia McLennan of Homewood Technical takes them down the back stretch. Tall figure of Charlesia Wright of Excelsior in there as well. But it's Malia McLennan of Homewood Technical looking pretty good at the moment. He has a pretty decent advantage as she springs off the top bend and enters the home stretch. Malia McLennan of Homewood Technical being chased by Gabbana Jones of Edwin Allen and the Charlisa Wright of Excelsior. No stopping Malia McLennan of Homewood Technical. Charlisa Wright of Excelsior comes in for second. And Gabbana Jones, Edwin Allen takes third. Final heat then of the Class 3 girls, 400 meters. The next event will be 400 meters for clubs and institutions, women. And we have reverted to Class 2 for the girls as Shay Jones will take you through.
That's a heat one of the Class 2 girls on track. In this one you should have Patrick of St. Mary High. We're not seeing that person. We're seeing that we have some shuffling around with the athletes who have recruited for this one, so we're gonna sort that out and quickly tell you who they are at the moment. But we should have 3 heats of this Class 2 girls 400 meters on track. On your marks. Get set. Stand up, please. On your marks. Alright, relax and hold it, Mr. Starter. On your marks. set. And the gun sends them off at this one. We look to the 6th, 7th lane. That looks to be the athlete from Woburn Technical. So to the young lady from St. Jago, ranging up nicely. The athlete from William Knibb is also there. And we'll sort the names out, but it's all about Woburn Technical. Away from St. Jago, Port Antonio High looks to be in it. So to William Knibb High School, but it's the young lady from St. Jago pulls up there, but Woburn Technical continues to lead this one as they come around the curve. It's Woburn Technical that's leading. So to the young lady from William Knibb trying to close that gap, but it's all about the athlete from Woburn Technical. And now looks to the athlete from what looks to be Excelsior. That looks to be the athlete from Excelsior that is taking the ascendance in this one as she tries to pull away from the rest of the field. It's Excelsior from Woburn Technical, but with the other side, the athlete from Woburn Technical is trying to close. But Excelsior will win this one. Nice flash time, 57.25 ahead of Woburn Technical, and finishing in third. That looks to be Port Antonio High School. So the official flash time is 57.25, and we'll tell you the official time as it comes up. As the last athlete there comes across the line. This is a Class 2 girls 400 meters. And that should have been Heat 1, but definitely there was a merger of what looks to be Heat 1 and 2. We'll give you the official time as it becomes available to us. E2 is on track, and we're seeing just about 4 athletes reporting for this one. Again, we apologize for not being able to give you the names of the athletes who have reported, but we're seeing St. Jago in lane 3, looks to be William Knibb in lane 4, Excelsior runs out of lane 5. And 6 looks to be Port Antonio High School. On your marks. Get set. And they're half clean break for this one. Look to the athlete from St. Jago, that's in lane 3. So to the young lady from Excelsior. We just saw Excelsior taking that one. That's all about St. Jago from Excelsior. So to on the outside, the athlete from Port Antonio is making a good run of this one. But it's all about the athlete from Excelsior trying to take advantage in this one, but nothing to separate them much. Excelsior is there. So to Port Antonio and William Knibb as they approach the 200 meters mark. And they come around. It looks to be the athlete from Port Antonio that is trying to steal a march on the field. But the athlete from St. Jago is having none of it as she powers to the front. It's all about St. Jago running out of lane 3. St. Jago is there. Excelsior trying to close as the athlete from Port Antonio grinds to an out. It's all about St. Jago that will dominate and take this one and swings for home. With every stride, she's pulling away from the rest of the field and she comes across the line for the win. That's St. Jago ahead of Excelsior and William Knibb finishing 3rd. So another win there for St. Jago, with Excelsior having to settle for 2nd. Flush time looks to be a minute 01.68. 2nd for the winner there from St. Jago. E3s on track. This is the class 2 girls 400 meters. And we're seeing athletes from Women Technical, Soto William Knibb, and that looks to be St. Mary, Soto St. Jago. So those schools are the schools that seem to report. On your marks. Get set. And the gun sends them away clean break for this one. Look to the athletes from outside. It's Omen Technical, but straight to St. Jago, who has already taken the ascendant in this one. St. Jago that has clawed back the two athletes from Omen Technical as she powers down that back stretch. It's all about St. Jago. So to the athlete from St. Mary's trying to have a say in this one. It's all about St. Jago for the moment. Tracking nicely the athletes from Omen Technical and St. Mary. And left back is the athlete from William Knibb. It's all about St. Jago as they come off the curve. St. Jago again looking to get another win as we saw in the previous week. But look to the athlete from William Knibb who now strives to the front and she's looking strong as she motors away from the field. It's all about the athlete from William Knibb that is dominating this one. Aine is driving to the line and she'll win this by some distance. The athlete from William Knibb ahead of the competitor from Omen Technical, and fading badly, that's the athlete there from St. Jago. William Knibb gets that one. Flash time 56.20. And we await the official time for these athletes, but definitely the winner there, finishing strongly over the last 100 meters as the athlete from William Knibb. That concludes the class 2 girls 400 meters. And what will come up shortly is the women's or clubs and institutions 400 meters. On your marks. Set. And they're half clean field for this one. We look to the athlete from the outside, that looks to be the athlete from St. Jago. So to the young man from St. Elizabeth Technical. Omen Technical is also there. So to William Knibb, but St. Elizabeth Technical on the inside as well, looking strong in this one as they go down the back stretch. It's all about St. Elizabeth Technical who is making the most of this as they approach 200 meters. The athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical battling strongly with the athlete from St. Jago. The athlete from Ruben is also there. It's all about St. Elizabeth Technical as the man on the inside now looks to take up much of the running and to try and reel in his colleague on the outside, but St. Jago is not going away. And it's all about St. Jago against St. Elizabeth Technical. St. Elizabeth Technical on the inside finishing strong, and he will win this one. That's the athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical, 48.60 the flash time for your winner from sets, finishing ahead of St. Jago on the outside, and his colleague finishing third. So this looks to be E2 of the boys class 1, 400 meters on track. So this one looks to feature 2 athletes from William Knibb. On your marks. Set. And they're off clean break for this one. 4 athletes reported there. And the 2 athletes from William Knibb off and relatively strong, but look to the athlete on the inside from St. Elizabeth Technical is already closing the gap on the field. It's all about sets. Again in this one, trying to make it a quick double for them. Sets against William Knibb as they battle away down the back stretch. Approaching 200 meters just about now. It's all about St. Elizabeth Technical trying as hard as it can to catch the athlete from William Knibb as they look to spin off that curve. It's all about sets against William Knibb, and sets seem to have the advantage on this one as the gentleman on the inside looks to pull away from his competitor. It's all about St. Elizabeth Technical. We'll get a quick double from them as he runs to the line looking strong and win this one in a flash time of 49.07 ahead of the athlete from William Knibb there. So that's a win for St. Elizabeth Technical ahead of the peer from William Knibb. So E3 comes up shortly. The athletes are already standing on the track. And we're seeing the athletes from William Knibb there, so to Greater Portmore. On your marks. Set. And off they go. St. Elizabeth Technical is also presented in this one. Let's see if they can make it 3 in a row, but the well-done man from William Knibb is having a say in this one as he tries to close the gap, and he's doing so as we speak. It's all about William Knibb matching strides with the athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical. Left back is the athlete from Port Antonio. But it's all about William Knibb against St. Elizabeth Technical. Schools from the west are making a piece of this one. William Knibb this time has the advantage as they come around the curve. It's all about the young man from William Knibb, who's looking strongest of all as he gets a sizable lead now and moves away from his competitors, looking strong, pumping his arm as he comes back to the finish line and win this one by some distance. 47.6 the flash time for this young man from William Knibb ahead of St. Elizabeth Technical, and finishing in third looks to be the athlete from Camperdown there. So heat 4 of the boys class 1 400 meter comes up next. We're seeing just about 6 athletes reporting for this one. Athlete looks to be there from St. Jago, so to Excelsior. So to steps William Knibb as well. Great approach more. It's also featured in this one. On your marks. Set. And off they go. Clean break for this one already. We look to the athlete. Looks to be off bay. But William Knibb already steals a march on the field and tracking him nicely. The athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical. That blue and white looks to be the school from Portland, Buff Bay. Being challenged by William Knibb and St. Elizabeth Technical at the moment. St. Jago left back. So to Excelsior. It was all about William Knibb for this one as they look to make it another quick one for them. It's all about William Knibb, who is leading ahead of the athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical. But the race is not yet over. The athlete from St. Elizabeth now pushes to the front and is looking strong, is looking to withstand that challenge coming from the athlete from William, who is all about St. Elizabeth Technical, who will win this one as it motors to the line in 50.06 as a flash time. We await the official time for the winner there from St. Elizabeth Technical ahead of William Knibb High School. I think we have moved to the Class 2 boys, 400 meters on track. My apologies, that is actually Class 1, 2 feet of Class 1 that's on track. So we're seeing On your marks. Set. And off they go. Let's look to lane one, the athlete from William Knibb. So to on the outside, the athlete from Woburn Technical. That looks to also be Denby High School there in the middle. Looks to be the athlete from Homewood that is doing a lot of the running. So to William Knibb at this juncture. And that athlete there from Denby all alone on the outside is running like a skid here as he looks to pull away from his competitors. Looks to be Denby on the outside, and on the inside it's William Knibb as they turn for home. It looks to be Denby that will get this one, and he's looking strong as the athlete from William Knibb on the inside tries to mount a challenge, but it's all about Denby that will win this one as he runs back to the line, running out of lane 7, winning this one in a flash time of 48.34 ahead of William Knibb on the inside, and finishing third there, the athlete from Over Technical. So the 16th of the boys class, 100 meters, is now on track. It looks to be about 6 athletes that have reported for this one. Definitely we're seeing athletes from William Knibb, so too Excelsior. Looks to be Charlie Mount as well. Greater Portmore. And on the inside it looks to be Clarendon College, represented in lane 1 and 2. On your marks. There seems to be some sorting out of the actual athletes that are participating in this one. We're seeing the starters having a conversation before we get this one going. So this should be 6 of the boys class 1, 200 meters on track, and we're seeing the 7th athlete joining the party and a replacement as well of the athlete that was initially in lane 2. So Clarendon College is still in lane 1, but athlete from Excelsior now is in lane 2. And in lane 8 looks to be another athlete from Charlemont. On your marks. set. And a clean break there from the starters. And already we're seeing the athlete from Excelsior in lane 7 doing most of the running. It is Excelsior tracking him nicely, the athlete from William Knibb. So to the young man from Clarendon College on the inside. But it's all about Excelsior. Now we look to Charlemont as well. He's trying to mount a challenge for this one. Tracking the athlete from Excelsior. It's all about Excelsior battling Charlemont for this one. And the athlete from Charlemont seems to be having the advantage as they turn for home. It's all about Charlemont. He's trying to win this one for his skull, but not yet out of the picture. The athlete from Excelsior. Excelsior trying to close on Charlemont, but it's all about the rider from Charlemont. He's got to win this one in a flash time as the clock stops there a little bit earlier, but for sure it is the athlete from Charlemont that seemed to have won this one. Nice battle there between himself, but he had enough to pull away in the last 40 meters in this one. So once the time becomes available, we make them known to you. But I can tell you the winner there, coming all the way from Charlemont School of Fame for the one, Saka Pedal. So each 7 will come up on track just about now. And again, there is some merging of the athletes who have reported for the event, so it's somewhat hard at times to tell you who they are because the heats are being merged because of the participants presenting themselves to compete. So this one seems to feature Clarendon College. This time they'll be definitely running out of lane 1 and 2. Based on where they're standing on the track, we're seeing William Knibb in 3. Another athlete there, lane 4 is empty, but lane 5 should be occupied by another athlete from Charlemont. That seems to be there as well. And we're seeing a late arrival to the party. Looks to be Clarendon College as well in lane 8. Each 7 of the boys class 1, 400 meters on track. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. Look to the man from St. Elizabeth Technical, so to the athlete from Charlemont. Would want to do what he saw his colleague did just now, but he'll have his hands full with the athletes from Clarendon College, so to William Knibb, so to St. Elizabeth Technical, all in this and all looking to win this one. And at the moment it looks to be the athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical that's having the advantage, so to the young man from Clarendon College that's there on the inside, but it's Sex and Clarendon College on the outside, and Clarendon College also featured on the inside, but St. Elizabeth Technical seem to have the upper head as they come around the curve. It's all about St. Elizabeth Technical. Not yet out of this one is the athlete from Charlemont who's rallying and mounting a challenge to his competitor from St. Elizabeth Technical. It's all about the athlete from Charlemont battling right neck and neck to the line with the athlete from St. Elizabeth Technical. And looks to be the man from Sets holding on in 49.91, just ahead of a fast finishing challenger there from Charlemont. Tight battle towards the end, but the taller man seemed to have won it by just a whisker there. So this looks to be the heat and final heat of the Class 1 boys 400 meters on track. See just about 5 athletes reporting. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. Look to the man from Omo Technical on the inside. So to Port Antonio. It's also there St. Jago on the outside. And they have already shown their intentions in the first 150 meters of this final heat of the 400 meters for boys. Port Antonio looking nicely. So to Homo, so to St. Jago. Young man from Charlemont left the back, but it's all about St. Jago at the moment. Being challenged by the athlete from Port Antonio as they leave the 200 meters mark and turns for home. It's all about the young man from Port Antonio that is looking strong, but look now to the athlete from Mobile Technical. Is trying to rally as much strength as he can, but holding on. On the outside is the athlete from St. Jago. Port Antonio fading badly, but St. Jago will win this one ahead of the young man there from Port Antonio. So a good burst of speed from St. Jago, coming just in the nick of time to win that one ahead of Port Antonio and Oman Technical. So the boys class 1 has been concluded, and now we turn our attentions to the class 2 athletes as we see the first heat on track. This one will feature so Charlemagne looks to be there, so to Port Antonio, and it looks from my vantage point also Excelsior as reported for this one. So joining them lately is the athlete from St. Thomas Technical as the official gives him some time to get himself ready. Just about 7 athletes in this one. It looks to be another merger of the athletes, but this is the class 2 boys 400 meters with the athletes standing on track. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. And it's already athlete on the outside. Looks to be Port Antonio that is doing some early running there. The man on the inside from St. Elizabeth Technical is also there as the field ranges up and closes out the first 200 meters. This one looks to be the athlete from Port Antonio who has some advantage in this one. And looks to be also Excelsior that's there. But for sure it's not yet Ruba, but the athlete from St. Elizabeth from Excelsior that looks to be is having the advantage in this one as he turns her home and it's all by himself now, looking to separate himself from the field, but he still has some distance to close over this. It looks to be Port Antonio that is having a strong run here as he comes his way to the line, and it looks to be a 1-2 for Port Antonio in this, the first heat of the Class 2 boys 400 meters. The flash time 52.01, but we await the official time for that athlete there. So E2 comes up shortly. And this is the boys class 2 400 meters. And we're seeing representation from Charlemont for sure. Seem to also have Greater Portmore, so to St. Jago represented in this one. Seem to be 5 athletes that have reported for this one. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running, and look to the man from St. Jago on the inside. So to the athlete from Charlemont that has already started. Best of all, it's Charlemont already looking to take advantage of this one, but as we speak, St. Jago, it is that is reeling in the choke, and he moves ahead of the rest of the field. It's all about St. Jago as they approach 200 meters in this 400 meters, all about St. Jago ahead of Charlemont, and he, with every stride now, makes a larger room between himself and the rest of the field. All St. Jago by himself. As he turns for home, it's St. Jago, all the others left back, and he will take some catching to get back to St. Jago. But as we speak, the athlete from Charlemont is trying his very best, but St. Jago will win this one as he runs for home 52.95. That's the flash time for your winner there from St. Jago ahead of Charlemont, and looks to be Greater Portmore on the outside, finishing third. So next on track is going to be E3 of the boys 400 meters. And we're seeing St. Jago there, so to Greater Portmore, who takes majority of the lanes in this one. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. St. Jago dominating this one in terms of numbers. Let's see if they can do it on the track already. They are in lane 6 rather, that is taking advantage, but not too far left behind his colleague from St. Jago. So St. Jago leading this one. We will look to make it a quick double for the Monk Street based institution. It's all about St. Jago 1 and 2 in the mixes. Greater Portmore, but it's all about St. Jago for this one, as the athlete looks to try for home, dragging along with him his competitor and teammate, and looks to be through across the line for St. Jago as they now come to the last 50 meters. All about St. Jago having a good time, challenging each other, as the man on the inside will win this one nicely in a flash time of 50.57, completing the three there for St. Jago. 1, 2, 3.
Reese, whenever you're ready, signal.
So we're asking the class 4 girls, long jumpers, to report to the competition here. That's class 4 girls, report to the competition here. So we move to the 40th, this is the boys class 2, 400 meters.
Levels 1, 2. On your marks. Set. Stand up. Stand up. Ready? On your marks.
And a clean break there from the start, and it looks already been the man from St. Jago who steps out first and tries to make an advantage on this field, but still early days yet, as the man on the inside looks to be from William Knibb, tries to make a chase of it. So too Port Antonio on the outside, but St. Jago in this one again, looking to dominate, looking to win. St. Jago from Port Antonio, and on the inside William Knibb is not yet out of the picture, but it's all about St. Jago as they look to turn from home. It is St. Jago being challenged by Port Antonio on the inside, on the outside, and William Knibb on the inside, and it's going to be a very tight one to the finish as St. Jago tries to make it 3 in a row. It's all about St. Jago as he grits his feet and pumps his arm, comes across the line in 52.43 as your flash time ahead of William Knibb there and Port Antonio on the outside. So St. Jago making it 3 in a row. So E5 comes up next on track. this one should feature the likes of St. Elizabeth Technical, so too William Knibb. Greater Portmore seems to be there as well, so too Port Antonio, with just about 4 athletes showing for this, the 5th heat in the boys 400 meters class 2.
On your marks. Set.
And the gun sends them off. Clean break there for the athlete on the outside from Port Antonio. Seems to be doing most of the early running as he tries to get by the athlete from William Knibb. So it's Port Antonio battling with William Knibb, and on the inside St. Elizabeth Technical is ranging up nicely. And this one should be an interesting battle as they approach the 200 meters marks. In this one, it's all about Port Antonio being challenged by William Knibb on his outside, and St. Elizabeth Technical is on the inside, but he is having the advantage on this field as the athlete from Port Antonio, as he turns for home. It's all about Port Antonio looking strong and determining to win this one, but not too far behind is the athlete from William Knibb, but will take some catching to get to the young man from Port Antonio. It's Port Antonio is going to win this one as he comes back to the line, looking strongest of all to win this one. Actually, that's Dintil. My apologies, Dintil running in the maroon and gold. So Dintil wins ahead of William Knibb, and St. Elizabeth Technical finishing third. So we move to the 6th heat, and this is the boys class 400 meters as we say good afternoon to the president of the J3, Mr. Garth Gill, who has joined us this afternoon. So this one should feature St. Elizabeth Technical, so too William Knibb, so too St. Jago. We've seen those schools consistently all afternoon and been trading wins amongst themselves. Let's see who will get this one, the 6th heat of the class 2 boys 400 meters.
On your marks. Set.
And they're off and running and already. Intentions have been signaled by the young man from St. Jago on the outside. Tracking him nicely is the man from St. Elizabeth Technical, so too the athlete from William Knibb. They're all in this and nothing yet to separate themselves from each other. It's all about St. Jago, William Knibb, St. Elizabeth Technical. All those jerseys have been featured at the front, and lingering behind is the man from Greater Portmore. But it's all about St. Jago, who now steals an advantage on the field. St. Jago on the outside, William Knibb on the inside will want a challenge, but St. Jago is looking strong at this juncture, and on the inside his teammate also is there. So St. Jago on the outside, St. Jago on the inside, and sandwiched in between them is the athlete from William Knibb. It's gonna be St. Jago that will win this one and lead his teammate home in a 1-2 finish ahead of William Knibb, who finishes third and fourth. So St. Jago there on the outside winning another heat in this boys 400 meters for class 2.
Attention class 4 girls, long jump, report to the area now. That's class 4 girls, long jump, report to the area now. Thank you. Please. On your marks. Set.
And they're off there and running. Looks to be the man already from William Knibb. Running out of lane 6 that is going best of all. But look to the man from Denby. It's also there, so too St. Jago. Charlemont is also featured in this one, but it's all about William Knibb being tracked nicely by the young man from St. Jago as they approach 200 meters to run in this one. It's all about William Knibb on the outside, St. Jago on the inside. And now look at the athlete from Denby who's trying to make much of this as William Knibb continues to lead ahead of St. Jago and Denby on the inside. William Knibb that will want to win this one, but St. Jago is having something to say about it as the athlete from St. Jago now takes to the front and looking strongest of all and will win this one ahead of the athlete from Denby. St. Jago, 51.11 seconds of flash time for the athlete there from St. Jago, winning this one ahead of Denby, and athlete from William Knibb who started well faded into third. So the class 2 girls for the shot put competition, you're asked to report to the competition area. That's the class 2 girls for shot put. And all high jumpers, males, all high jumpers for males, you're asked to report to the competition areas. So their call goes out again for all male high jumpers, all males competing in the high jump event. You're asked to report to the competition area now. All males competing in the high jump, you're asked to report to the competition now. So we turn our attention again to the 400 meters, this time for class 3 boys, with the first heat on track. The athletes already standing there, looks to be a full field with representation coming from the likes of St. Jago. St. Elizabeth is there, so too looks to be the athletes from Greater Portmore that have reported, and looks also to be Clarendon College that is there.
On your marks. Set.
And a clean break sends them off. This one should be a keen battle between St. Elizabeth and St. Jago. Already St. Elizabeth is looking strongest of all. On the outside, the young man from St. Elizabeth is really the open advantage on the field, but on the inside, shotted him nicely. His teammate from St. Elizabeth and also St. Jago is trying to reeling him in, but it's all about St. Elizabeth on the outside. And he's looking strongest of all as they approach the first 200 meters of this 400. It is St. Elizabeth technical, and battling on the inside is St. Jago also with St. Elizabeth. So it's all about St. Elizabeth versus St. Jago. And Stead's looking the strongest of all. At this time it's St. Elizabeth on the outside and St. Jago fading on the inside with every stride. But it looks to be St. Elizabeth who will try to get a double in this one. It is definitely going to be St. Elizabeth, 55.15 for the win ahead of his teammate, finishing second, and in third at St. Jago there, fading after a stout challenge, giving early race. So E2 of the boys class 3, 400 meters now on track. And we're seeing just about 7 athletes reporting for the start of this one. Should feature St. Jago, should also feature Charlemont, Omud, so to Excelsior and William Knibb. All those schools are represented in this one, the second heat of the boys class 3, 400 meters. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. Already man from William Knibb on inside looking strong. So too the athlete from Over Technical, but the man from St. Jago on the outside is already doing much of the running. Not too far behind is the man from Over Technical. So it's St. Jago, Over Technical, so too William Knibb. Those three are doing a good battle so far. The man from St. Jago seems to be running out of steam. Over Technical now takes advantage of this one and does so nicely as he approaches the 200 meters Mark, it's all about Omo Technical Balloon. Look to the man from William Knibb. William Knibb on the inside now will want to win this one, and he's doing so at the moment. It's all about William Knibb on the inside, looking the strongest of all as he hopes a sizable lead on this field and will win it. Looking strong is William Knibb coming back to the line and will win this in a flash time of 55.43 for the win ahead of Omo Technical in second. So William Knibb there getting a win in this, the class 3 boys 400 meters, as we see the final athlete there from Shalimon crossing the line. E3 comes up next and should feature the likes of William Knibb again. You saw them just winning E2, but there's also St. Elizabeth, there's also Excelsior. Denby looks to be there as well, and that looks like a young man from Yorktown. On your marks. Set. And a clean break there for this one. Look to the man from St. Elizabeth. So to the man from William Knibb. And Denby's on the inside. Excelsior should be there as well. But it's all about William Knibb in this one. Is already taking advantage. William Knibb ahead of St. Elizabeth. Technical. Excelsior is there. Denby's there. But William Knibb is looking strongest of all as they approach 200 meters. It's all about William Knibb, who will take some beating in this one. William Knibb, who is looking strongest, want to make it a quick double for the Trelawney Base School. It's all about William Knibb as he turns her home and has a sizable lead on the field. In second looks to be the man from Denby, and fading a little is the man from St. Elizabeth Technical. But look at this time, there's going to be a challenge coming from the inside from the man from Denby, and Stets is trying to rally back. But it's all about William Knibb as he tries to hold to the line, and he does so successfully. That's William Knibb there. Flash time 56.06 for the man from William Knibb, winning just ahead of looks to be Denby and St. Elizabeth Technical. So E4 comes up next on track. And looks just about 5 to 6 participants are in this one. I can tell you that St. Jago is there. Looks also to have an athlete there from Greater Portmore. And also St. Elizabeth. On your marks. Set. And they're off and running. The man from St. Jago in lane 8 looks to be signal his intentions very early. It's all about St. Jago. Tracking in looks to be the man from Sets, but it's all about St. Jago. At this point, he is all alone by himself. St. Jago, as they approach the first 200 meters in this 400 meters, all about St. Jago on the outside, and he is gonna take some catching from this point. St. Jago that is looking strong and wanting to win, and is doing so at the moment. It's all about St. Jago as he turns for home running on the outside in lane 8. He's looking strong as the challenge from inside comes, but it's going to take some more running from the competitor on the inside to catch him, as St. Jago will win this one as he comes to the line ahead of what looks to be that lead from Clarendon College for second. So it's all Monk Street in this one in the fourth heat of the Class 3 boys 400 meters. So 5 of the Class 2 boys 400 meter comes up next. On your marks. So stand up at least, stand up. On your marks. Set. Stand up at least.
On your marks. Set.
And they're off and running. Look to the athlete on the far outside. Looks to be Greater Portmore there, as an early battle has already developed within himself, and the man on the inside looks to be from Dembe. So those two already looking the strongest of all as they head down that back stretch. Close going there. It looks to be another athlete on the inside, could be Clarendon College, that is making the most of a running as they approach 200 meters, and will have to do all they can to catch him. It looks to be the man from Clarendon College who turns on an afterburner on them and turns for home, and hope that size of a gap on the field, and he powers away from his competitors and will win this one for sure as he comes back to the line. As the athlete looking to win from Clarendon College as a battle intensifies between what looks to be Dembe and Greater Portmore for second and third. So the 6th heat of the boys class 400 meters now on track. So this one should feature the likes of Excelsior, so too St. Jago, Port Antonio looks to be there as well.
On your marks. Set. Send up. On your marks. Set.
And they're half and running and ready. The man from St. Jago, running out of lane 3, looks to be doing most of the running. And on the outside, it also looks to be from Port Antonio, but it's all about St. Jago on the inside, trying to take advantage of this one. And he's having a lot to do to really in the athlete on his outside. So it's St. Jago in this. So the athlete from Port Antonio, the school also looks to be Clarendon College being featured in this one. And this promises to be a very close finish as we look to the man from Clarendon College. That is now the one that has the advantage. Clarendon College it is, but tracking him nicely is the player from St. Jago that will want to have a say in this one. It says Clarendon College been battled by St. Jago, and St. Jago succeeds in this one. He will win from lane 2. That's St. Jago ahead of Clarendon College, and finishing third is the other athlete from St. Jago. So St. Jago wins ahead of Clarendon College.
Jay Dublow Sports.